Oof, this would really upset me. Not okay. Anyone called my brother the R word, it's so disrespectful. And hi everyone, I'm Jen. I came across some of these Reddit posts connected to parents and just everyday scenarios that they've come across, and I thought it would just be fun to read them out loud and then see what we get out of them and what I think about them and if I have any connection to them in some way. So let's get right to it and let's see what we get, okay? So the first one is called 9-Year-Old Watching Squid Games. So my 9-year-old had a friend over the other day, and his friend said his mom let him watch Squid Games. I had never seen it, so I started to watch it. I'm horrified at the thought of a completely immature child seeing this show. My son would never be able to handle this. He's really sensitive. But I honestly feel sad for the kid, and I am just at a loss. I am leaning towards keeping quiet about it, but admittedly, a part of me wants to say something to his mom. Anyone been in a similar situation? I don't think saying something would actually do any good. I get that everyone has a right to parent how they choose. It just seems kind of like a poor choice. Well, okay, so when I first saw this, I was like, first of all, I just finished watching Squid Games and I thought this season was insane. It was definitely not something that I would probably let my children watch if I was a parent. And I think she has a point where every parent has a right to parent how they choose. I personally would not touch on this or tell the other parent just because they're not my child and it's their choice and they can, again, like she said, decide how they want to parent. But coming from an early child education background, I would say personally this is probably not the best choice and something I wouldn't do just because children learn through modeling, observation, and then they go out into the world and imitate those observations as they have in their life, right? So this kind of reminds me of video games per se, and yes, there's some that can be beneficial and there's a beauty and creativity in virtual worlds and all that, but when you connect it to violence, then I don't think it really goes hand in hand, right? I don't really see the benefits in a 9-year-old watching Squid Games, in my personal opinion. So I am with her in the fact that I don't think it's appropriate, but I personally would not comment to this parent anything just because it's their kid, right? So that's the first one. Now the second. This one is titled Another Night. I have a beautiful 4-month-old that sleep regression is hitting hard. She used to sleep 10 hours a night and can barely get through 5 to 6 now. She isn't the issue, my husband is. She is a bassinet. She's in her bassinet next to our bed. I can't move her yet. I'm too nervous. And when she wakes up, my husband throws tantrums like a child. Big sighs, and heaven forbid he needs to wake up and make a bottle. He will kick his legs up and storm out to the kitchen. I don't understand. We planned her and she had turned my life upside down, but for the best way possible. She can't help she wakes up and seeks comfort, especially if she's growing and maturing herself. It is so off-putting seeing a grown man who wanted a child act like he can't handle the decision he made. To make matters worse, he hardly handles her at night, and I do all of the nightly ordeals, so he barely misses out on sleep like I do. Ooh. Oh, I feel like this would really upset me. First of all, if you made a plan to have a child together, you have a responsibility to take care of this baby. And that means sleep deprivation, that means they come first no matter what, right? Because they're so dependent on you and they need you and they literally cannot survive without you, right? So if that was my husband, I would be really pissed, especially because I don't do very well with sleep deprivation myself. I get very cranky, so I would definitely have a conversation with my husband about this and let him know you need to pull your weight, bro. Like, this is not okay. I would also probably do shifts. And I think it would be kind of hard to just let him try to figure it out, but I think it's also important. It's kind of like with children, right? Where you want to be there, you want to nurture them and make sure they're safe and protected and guide them, right? Whether that is hand over hand or verbally give them that guidance. But in some way, people learn best when they do things themselves, right? So I would probably, no, not probably, I would definitely have a conversation with him and let him know you need to pull your own weight in this relationship when it comes to taking care of our child, and grow up because you're not a kid and you have a kid that is dependent on you now. Ugh, this is so annoying. That would really piss me off. But yeah. And sleep regression at an infant is so common, and it's momentarily, it's a phase, right? And it's kind of like you just got to get over that hump for that little while, and then they're so precious and they're so much fun, and they like laugh and giggle with you, and all of those firsts that you get to have with children. I used to work with infants, and that used to be my favorite thing about working with infants, is having those moments of connection with them where like you get to see, oh, they're understanding what you're saying. You could see the wheels turning in their brain and making those connections, and honestly just feeding them the bottle and cuddling them and hugging them, helping them fall asleep. Like they need that comfort and connection, just humans do in general. So I can totally see her perspective of like, she's literally just letting you know what she needs. And as the adults in her life being there to like give her that, right? Okay, so this is the last one, and I don't have the title for this one, but it has something to do with something her doctor said, okay? So my son is almost 2 and was getting an evaluation done. This doctor called my son, I'm not going to say it because I don't like this word, the R word, several times. I bit my tongue and let her finish the evaluation. There was another doctor in the room who allowed her to speak to him like this. I'm currently filling out a form to report her to the state medical board. I'm going to report her to her supervisor, but I realize that she's the chief of the department, so I wouldn't know who is above her. I can't believe that a medical professional still uses this term when it has been phased out of the medical field for years. Okay, so this one in particular kind of really, I didn't like reading it, I didn't like seeing it, just because I have a brother who is on the spectrum, and I would never like or let anyone call my brother the R word. It's so disrespectful and just demeaning, right? And having a family member that is on the spectrum and going to school for early childhood education and just working with children and families and children with lots of needs and varied needs, like it's always people first for me. That's something that I've always learned. So yes, they may have a diagnosis, right? But that's not all that they are. They're humans, there's people, they have interests and likes and dislikes, and they need connection just like you and me, right? So if I was her, I would 100% say something on the spot. Just because I know that now, if somebody ever did that to my brother, on the spot, I would say something, particularly with using words like that, right? I just feel like it's demeaning, and I just don't like it. So, but good on her for reporting that. And maybe also sometimes it's just a bit of education, right? I remember when I was teaching courses at CSUN, I heard some of the students use not person first language when it came to talking about people on the spectrum or people that are neurodivergent. And I would always say, like, it's people first, unless they decide otherwise, right? Then you respect that. But I just do not like that. So yeah, anyway, so those are some of the comments that I found today. Please let me know in the comments what you think about any of these posts. I would really love to see if we have the same opinion or differences, just kind of create conversation and dialogue. I'm also the creator of Emotional Explorers, and I'm so excited to be starting this journey and just kind of seeing where I can go with what I know and share that. You know, a big reason why I went into the field is because of my brother, and seeing just how impactful people can be in children's lives, and I want to share that. I want to pass that forward. So check out the link below, and I'll see you next time.